Well, like first, I just want to know, of all the people that are here, how familiar are you already with Photoshop? Not okay. Okay. Green screen. Okay. Okay, it's pretty advanced, knowing how to remove the backgrounds for sure. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, so what we're gonna do is gonna be a little bit of a, we're gonna do like a little project. We're gonna create a scene using different stock photos. So we're gonna learn how to cut them out, place them, play around with like the shadows and highlights so everything matches, and just kind of like, oh, can you guys hear me okay, or? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna open a photo. This is gonna be our background. It's a house, an apartment, a nice little house. And we're gonna place like a woman and some children in here, maybe a monkey, create like a very whimsical type of scene. This is gonna be our model. So the first thing we're gonna have to do is cut her out, obviously, so we can put her in the other photo. Now Photoshop recently added, let me here, an option that's very helpful that wasn't around when I was learning Photoshop, object selection. Oh, yes.
I just realized something. Should we like start like a Google Drive folder so you can drop the assets in there and they can grab it?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Do you want me to
I can make one
start
right
it?
now. 1 second.
Okay.
Just drop it in the chat.
Okay. Huh? Okay. Okay, so the files are uploading there now. They're all from this website pixels.com, but pixels with an E. And it's just like free stock photography, so it's really good if, you know, for getting like high-res photos that you can practice on. And okay, everything should be in the folder now. Let me know when you guys are ready to continue. Okay, awesome. Okay, so we're gonna try to do the object selection tool on this lady. So it should be pretty easy, but when you're dealing with images where they're very monochromatic like this one, where, you know, she's wearing green and the background is also green, you know, you're not gonna have a lot of contrast. So Photoshop is going to struggle a little bit with this image probably, but then we'll just fill in everything else manually. Oh, there you go, that actually went really well. Okay, so let's zoom in. And with the lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool, we're gonna select what didn't get selected. It doesn't have to be completely perfect. Make a little bit of her dress on here. The hair is always gonna be super tricky, but we're gonna clean this up after we finish selecting everything. And then to, so right now we're selecting. So to deselect, you're gonna, if you have a Mac, I'm not sure what it would be on Windows, but on Mac it's Option. You press Option and you see how the little, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but you see that it changes and it has like a little negative sign on it. So that means you're now taking away from the selection. We're going to assume her presence there. Let's make some little spikes. And then over here, we're also going to remove that. Okay. Okay, so deselecting in Windows is Control D. Thank you, Tony. Okay, let's see the rest of the edges. There's a little bit here that should be selected. Just tiny little things. But overall, Photoshop did a really good job with this image. Okay, cool. So now we zoom out. Shortcut L to get back to the lasso tool. And now you're gonna select mask, select and mask up here. Oh boy. All right, and here we're gonna try to clean up the edges of our image a little bit. So we're gonna shift edge. I like to go inward instead of outward with the edges because it always grabs a little bit of the background. So let's do like -10%. The contrast, that's gonna dictate how sharp your edges are gonna be. So if you go like 0% contrast, they're gonna be a little bit softer. Okay, it should be showing you, but I think my computer's a little laggy today. Okay, let's see if with 16 it shows. Okay, so you see it's it's a little bit softer all around the edges now. It wasn't like so sharp like before. So let's leave it at 16. I think that's fine. Feather, you know, it's going to make your edges very, very blurry. It's going to make them kind of like fade out. We don't want that, so we're going to leave that at 0. Okay. And smooth, well, smooth is what it sounds like. It's going to make your edges either smoother or sharper. So when we're using that the lasso tool, the straight one, you know, this is going to help smooth that out and make it a little bit more round and not so sharp edged. So smooth, I would do like maybe 50. Okay, I think that looks good. And then the radius, okay, is this hard to explain? I'll leave it 2 pixels. This is also gonna like dictate how smooth your edges are gonna be. And then while you're still here, maybe let's go a little bit around like parts that are a little bit fuzzy, like her hair. You just kind of go over it with the brush tool that's automatically selected when you open the screen. This is gonna help clean up a little bit of the green between her hair. Okay, and then we say okay. And then copy, so that, you know, you could do, what is it? I haven't done it like this in a while. Edit, copy, or, you know, Command C. And then let's go back to our little living room. Open up your layers. New layer down here. And then Command V. And we paste our lady in the room. Okay, so now to make her proportionate, you can do Command T. And you just shrink her. Let's see, we want her to be kind of like in front of everything. Maybe she's right here. She should be a little bit taller, so she's like right in front of the camera. So right there. Does everything make sense so far? Okay. All right, so now that's let's do layer, new adjustment layer. Okay, we're gonna fix her levels. Okay, so go to layer, new adjustment layer, level. And with this, we're gonna mess around with like her brightness. Oh, no. Okay, we're gonna have to do a mask first. Maybe, no, okay, never mind then. I don't know if this is gonna get too crazy. Do you see this little rectangle right here, this little white thing? Okay, that's a mask. So basically, you know, you can do whatever you want here, like, I don't know, go crazy, etc. But maybe you just want it to show in one specific part of the artwork. You don't want to mess around with the colors of the whole thing. So you click on that little rectangle, you grab your brush, and you make sure you have either white or black in the foreground, white or black in the background. Black is going to erase. And white is going to reveal. So we want to mess around with the levels only on her, not on the whole apartment. So let me undo that. Okay, so let's make her look a little bit brighter. In the midtones, let's bump up her highlights. And then give it a little bit of shadows. There's still some contrast there. Okay. Then we go back to our layers. Now the fastest way to do this is by selecting her. So you select her by pressing Command, and then you just click on the layer. Now she's selected. Then you invert that selection, that's Shift Command I, or here you can just inverse. And we're going to hide, so we need black on our foreground. The effect of the levels on the rest of the artwork. Okay, so now she matches the lighting of the house a little bit more. Like this was her before, this is her now. Oh no, okay. You can't see like the layers panel or anything like that? Yes, it is just the app. Okay, hold on. Let me change that. Ah, okay. Entire screen. Share. Okay, now it's gonna be a little bit crazy. Can you see it now? Okay. Okay. So, okay, do you guys want me to show you again what I did with the mask and the levels, since those things were not showing before? Alrighty, so let me just go back. Okay, so we were here. So we went layer, new adjustment layer, levels. Let me say, okay. Around with, you know, the midtones, let's make them a little bit lighter since the house is so bright and she's kind of like in shadow. Make like that. Bring out the highlights. Give her a little bit of shadows again so she's not so washed out. So like right there. Okay, perfect. Now you go to your layers, and this is the little rectangle I was talking about next to your levels. So what you're gonna do is, so here's what I was showing you. With your brush tool, you need either black or white. Black hides, white reveals. So with the black, with the brush on black, you can just erase parts of that layer. And with the white, you reveal. So let's have everything showing again. So when you select her, because we want to get rid of the effect of the levels on the apartment, but we want to leave it on her, we're going to select her. And the fastest way to do it is Command, and you click on the layer where she is. Is everything making sense so far? Okay, cool. All right, but we don't want to erase it from her. We want to erase it from everything around her. So we're going to invert the layer. So you either go select inverse, or you do the little keyboard shortcut. So let's go back to our levels, and you click not on the levels, not on the layer itself, but on the mask. And then with black in our foreground, we're going to hide the effects of that layer. I think you could also just fill it in with the paint bucket tool. Okay, so there. Now let's deselect, Command D. And we have our lady in the room. Okay, now we have the lady, so we're done with this image. So we'll close it. Okay, so everything good so far? Okay, so now let's add some misbehaving children in there. Okay, so here's a little girl. She's going to be jumping on the couch. And okay, so again, we go up here, Object Selection Tool. Let's see how Photoshop does with this one. Pretty good. All right, so again, we zoom in. Take the polygon lasso tool. You can use the regular lasso tool also if you want. It's up to you, really, like whatever you prefer. Just, I'm really bad with this one, so I prefer to use this one and then deal with the edges later on. Pretty good. The shoes do get a little bit complex. I think the shoes are the most work on this one. Alrighty, there we are. Let's fix her shorts a little bit here. Alrighty. So again, you go back to your lasso tool, select and mask up here. And we're just gonna use the same settings that we used on the last image. So they're already input in there, 2 pixels, 50, 0, 16, -10. And let's just pass the brush a little bit over her hair. Let's increase the opacity so we can really see. Okay. Okay, good. And again, we just Command C, copy, go Go back to here, Command V, paste. Okay, everything good so far? Okay. Okay, awesome. So again, we're gonna shrink her up so she's not like this giant girl in the middle of the room. That's Command T. And you just go right there from the corner. Something else that you can do is while you're doing this, if you press Option, it's going to resize it, but keep it centered. So like this versus this. So let's, I don't know, be a good size for her, maybe like that. Press Enter once you're happy with the size. Actually, it should be a little bit smaller. Like that. Maybe since you see how the light is falling on her, like from the side. Let's flip her around. That would be Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. Now it looks like the light from this window is what's lighting up her knees. Great there. Okay, so that's more or less, that's, you know, it's giving you an idea of how you cut things and move them from one place to another. You know, if you wanted to, you could add a mask. And if there's anything that you wanted, you know, let's say we want her foot behind that pillow, you do a mask. And instead of like just erasing directly, because then, you know, once you erase, it's hard to go back from that. You can just use a mask. Just make your brush a little bit sharper up here. Hardness, let's say like, and then we just like that. Maybe she's about to kick that pillow, who knows? Okay, and maybe we should add like a little shadow under her foot right there. So you could create a new layer beneath her, like under her. So let's give these names actually. Layer 1, let's call her Lady. Let's call this one Little Girl. Let's move this one to next to Lady and call it Lady Lighting. Again, Little Girl. So now we have this little layer under her. We're gonna call it Little Girl Shadow. Okay, so we're just gonna put some black in there, just right under her foot. Wait, let's make it softer. Let's lower the hardness to like 30. And just slightly be right there. Okay, so that's a really, really dark shadow. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the setting of that layer to be from normal. Let's make it, let's see what soft light would look like. Okay. It's like there, but it's more subtle. Or we can do overlay. Let's do multiply, and then just lower the opacity to like 40. Okay, or maybe 50. Okay, good so far? Okay, so that's that. And we're done with this image, so we can close it. Okay, next let's do a monkey. And it's basically the same thing we just did with the lady and with the girl. So object select. All right, not bad. This one's gonna be a little tricky because he's very fuzzy. He has all these little hairs around him. Let's select the part of the bottle that didn't get selected. Deselect here. Keep the cap. And maybe just give like a straighter edge. Okay. Select and mask. Let's try to get some of his little hairs back, so it's not so smooth. Oh my gosh, okay, that's okay. There. So he's gonna have fuzzier edges. Okay, and then let's just do a tail down here. Yeah, my computer is not very happy today. So we hit OK. And again, Command-C, copy. Let's put in above the row. Command-V, paste. Okay, so now we have a giant monkey in the room. Command-T, shrink him. We'll put him, let's put him on the desk. It's gonna be kind of small, like maybe, it's a good size, like right there. And just press enter so that he's there. And now let's zoom in. So let's have him be a little bit more like like over here. Okay, so far so good. Okay, questions, good. Alrighty, so now we have to, since he's kind of behind the couch, we're gonna create a mask and we're gonna erase the little part of him that's behind the couch. So let's rename the layer monkey. And we're gonna add a mask to it by clicking this little icon right here. Add layer mask. Okay, perfect. And then we go to our brush tool. And with black in the foreground, because black hides, we're going to begin erasing. Let's actually make the brush a little bit sharper. So like 85. And then if we go too far and erase too much of the monkey, we can always press X, have white in the foreground, and bring back the bits that got erased. Okay. Oh, oh. Okay, right there. And then maybe let's do like we did with the little girl. Let's give him a little bit of a shadow beneath him. So monkey shadow, and that has to go under the monkey layer. And again, we go to brush. Make our brush a little bit bigger and softer. So like say 20%. And we're just gonna put like a little bit of black under him. And then just erase right there. And if you want, let's make a mask on this one so it matches. Let's erase that little part here. Okay, and again, we can set it to multiply, which is like a darkening layer, and it blends a little bit better when you lower the opacity than if you left it on normal. So let's put it like maybe 50%. Let's do like 80 actually. Yeah. Okay, so now we have this lady dealing with a monkey and a child. Any questions so far? Everything makes sense? Then after this, we're gonna replace the, we could actually, yeah, we could flip the, so the light matches, yeah, right. Okay, so let's select the lady and let's edit, transform, flip horizontal. Ah, okay, now we gotta flip her lighting as well. So it might actually be, have to be on the mask. Transform, flip horizontal. No! No, what do you miss me? Oh my God, okay, never mind, this is like a whole thing. Okay, we might have to actually, no. Let's try something out. Maybe if we link these two layers, link layers with this little icon right here, they'll both behave the same way. So transform, flip horizontal. Okay, there you go. That's what you had to do. Just link. No, oh my gosh. Okay, fine. Let's put her here. All right, so the reason this is happening is because we have to fill that mask with black. So let's actually select that part. Oh, no, why am I so... Okay, so let's fill that mask with black, so it's hiding the effects of the levels layer. There, and it's only on the lady. Okay, perfect. Command D to deselect. There you go. Actually, let me turn on this screen. Okay, so next let's change this frame that they have hanging here into maybe like a landscape. So this one should be kind of easy. Let's just grab the landscape, select it all with Command A, then Command C to copy. Back here, let's erase the things we don't need anymore. Okay, then Command V to paste it, and let's rename it landscape. Okay, so that I can actually see through this, I'm gonna lower the opacity for now to 50%. And then Command T and begin resizing it. So let's make it so that it goes really like the size of the frame. It's okay, enter. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but we do have to change the perspective. So you're gonna go to Edit, Transform, and it's actually not gonna be perspective, it's gonna be Distort. And now you just align the edges of the painting to the corners of the frame. Press enter. Let's do 100% opacity so we can see. And now they have a nice little landscape there. Good so far? My LinkedIn, it's I'll have to look for it. I don't know what it is right now. It's my name, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so we have this. Let's erase this. Okay, so is there anything else that you guys want to see on this little setup right now? Any questions that you have? Anything? Okay, we did that with when you have the image selected, you go to, let me put this screen here. Okay, so let's do it again real quick. I keep it on 50% opacity so I can see through it while I'm doing this. And you go to Edit, Transform, Distort, right above Perspective. And you just align the corners of the image to the corners of the frame. Press enter and go back to 100% opacity. I'm glad you guys are having fun. Okay, so you gotta look reflectively covering glass. Let's see. Maybe, well, it depends on the kind of reflection that you're getting. This reflection is a little bit complex because on the original, you see how it has like a warped, like all these little warped lines. If you want to make it simpler, honestly, what you could do is create a new layer and then just add like a shape, maybe, like with the the polygonal lasso tool. And maybe just go like where you want your reflection to go. Fill it up with white. Okay, now let's make sure it's only on the image. So we command click on the image and then inverse that selection. So that's Command Shift I and erase there. And let's actually name this. Okay, and what you could do is just lower the opacity to maybe 30%. And if you want, add a mask to it. So if you want like the reflection to kind of just fade out, we use black to conceal. Let me just have it kind of like fade a little bit. But I'm not sure I like it showing. I mean, that's a really, really basic way of doing like a reflection type of effect. But in order to get the exact reflection as those windows, that's going to be complicated. I think that's a little bit more in an advanced class. Let me actually make it a little bit more like 50%. Okay. Okay. All right, so far, you know, it looks really whimsical, really nice, very lovely. You know, it's just a lady in her house dealing with a child. Let's change the mood of it, okay? So let's, I actually did not have this saved up. Okay, let's look for, this is the Pixels website that I told you guys about in the beginning. Let's look for thunderstorm. Okay. Maybe let's make it really dark and creepy and chaotic now. Preferably something in landscape already and without any buildings or anything like that. So that's actually those ones that I liked up here. Where is it? I think this one. Okay, just download it and then I'll put it here in the okay, so there's that. Okay, so let's grab this image, copy. I hope it's big enough. Paste, close enough. Let's just stretch it out a little bit. It shouldn't be a big deal because we're not gonna have it at full opacity. So let's change that layer to soft light. And let's see which one looks a little bit more dark and dramatic. Definitely not the lighter ones. Overlay is pretty good. Soft light. Oh, hard light. No. Okay, so let's do overlay. And let's put a mask on this layer because it's taking over the lady's face and it doesn't look very nice. Okay, but now she looks very yellow compared to everything else. So let's grab that like blue, create a new layer. Let's call it lady. Set it to maybe let's try soft light. Okay. Okay, then to make it really dramatic, we're gonna, again, new layer. Let's call this one dark edges. Now you're gonna go to your gradient tool right here. Make sure that your gradient is actually exactly this. It's black, but then it fades to transparent, to a zero opacity black. Okay. And then just make sure it's on radial, not the straight edge one, but the one that's like a sphere, like a circle. And you go to the middle of the image, then to the corner, a little bit out of the corner. You create this like, set that to multiply, to overlay. And that makes like the edges of the image really dark and dramatic and creepy. Is that working out so far? So that's basically how you, the coloring is really how you change like the mood or the feeling of the photos. You know, like now it's like a little bit like darker and creepier. If we wanted to, let me select all this. That's one option for the mood that you can set for the image. Maybe if you wanted to look more like with washed out colors, you know, it's all about soft light is usually the best way to apply colors to an image without the color completely taking over it. So, you know, if you put like a dark blue, it looks a little bit darker, a little bit colder. If you put like a light yellow, almost like tan, orangey, makes it look a little bit more dreamy, more, you know, Instagram. But let's go back to our creepy image. Maybe let's have the lightning. I think on the child is fine, but maybe we could, if we want more of that lightning, maybe over here or something, we could also like clone it. So you use the clone stamp tool. And you're gonna have like this little brush. So just make your brush bigger. And with option, you select what you want to clone. So I want to clone like this lightning, and I want to put it here. Maybe, I don't know, she's very angry, so there's lightning coming out of her. And you can just put it anywhere that you want. Maybe you want to have some more lightning down here too. Anything else that you guys want to see on this image? Or any questions that you have? Thank you. You know, like doing like creepy dark images too. Thank you. Well, let me know anything else that you want me to go over. That's the power of Photoshop. You can literally create something out of absolutely nothing or just a bunch of different images. Thank you. Alrighty, well, I hope that was helpful. And if you guys have any questions or anything, just let me know. Good, I'm really glad. And I hope you guys use the images and, you know, make something of your own. Any other ideas that you have, if you want to put the monkey on the couch instead, or have it be like a giant monkey, a tiny woman, you know, it's with Photoshop. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys liked it. Alrighty, well then, good luck. Could we make a career? Yeah, you can become a graphic designer. That's what I do. Thank you. All right, thank you guys, and I hope this was very helpful for you, and play around with it. Honestly, the best way to learn Photoshop is just play around with it, play around with the tools, see what you can do. The masks are really helpful. Play around with the coloring, lighting, anything. Thank you. Alrighty, bye guys, and thank you for the birthday wishes.